Hello, I'm Edward Roski, and welcome to the AI News. We're here for those intelligent people who only have time to deep dive into AI for a few minutes every so often, but always want to look smarter than they are about AI. We'll start with what's new in the technology side of AI. OpenAI. They launched Sora 2, and it's a creative breakthrough. The original Sora had impressive video, but it had limitations. Sora 2 adds a bunch of game changing features like audio sync. As you just heard, the sound matches the generated video perfectly. It added cameo control, so you can put specific people like yourself or objects into your generated scenes. It adds AI markers to make the whole world realize it's AI generated content. They even came out with a shared app to let the world see all the awesome videos you've come up with. So, video communication is how modern businesses operate. You can make training videos for every employee's specific role. You could create product demonstrations customized for each prospect. You could make board presentations where you could actually visualize scenarios that don't currently exist. So, we're moving from AI that helps you tell to AI that helps you show. And what changes is how we communicate, how we teach, how we persuade. It's not just text anymore. The human brain is wired to pay attention to things that move and things that make sound. Language is actually a pretty late development in human evolution. And plus, making videos of cats on ice skaters is just fun. OpenAI launched ChatGPT Pulse, which is a proactive AI briefing interaction. It tells you when it has something it thinks you might find interesting. So it takes AI from the kind of reactive chat, you ask a question, it responds, to more of autonomous research. And it's also extremely personalized and it's daily. So it knows, for instance, you've got a dinner coming up or that you have travel that's planned. It can connect to your calendar, it can connect to your email. It takes your preferences into account. It's designed to be the first step into not just agentic assistance, but asynchronous assistance. At least as of the time of this recording, it is only available to the $200 per month pro users, but eventually it should be rolled out to lower tiers as well. I guess to celebrate not getting Chrome broken up by a judge for antitrust violations, Google began integrating Gemini directly into Chrome. They are banking, like some other people will mention in a bit, that AI integration in the browser will shift your daily usage from I need to go visit an app to talk to AI to always on AI while I wander the web. It actually can do multi step task automation, it can do page summarization, and they did this right after a key antitrust ruling that avoided a forced breakup and potential sale of Chrome, but there were conditions that they are having to abide by. And in what is both a Google DeepMind story and an OpenAI story, both companies competed, though not as human teams, since they're not human yet, at the International Collegiate Programming Contest World Finals, and both companies earned gold. This is the world's best college computer science students competing in the Olympics of algorithmic programming. Google was the first to announce, and they solved 10 of 12 problems in 677 minutes, including one problem that no human team solved. Would have been enough for second place. OpenAI said, hold my beer, Pong, and got all 12 correct, which would have gotten it first place amongst 139 university teams from more than 100 countries. Is human coding, so-called hand coding, dead? You decide. Or I guess the computer science history books will. Anthropic was illegally pirating books, so they agreed to pay a 1.5 billion with a billion settlement, the biggest in copyright history, to the affected authors. And then a few days later, a judge put the settlement on hold. And then the judge approved it again on September 25th. This is the first mega settlement over training on books, and it helps shape what AI can ingest and what it must pay for. The deal, which is approved at the moment at least, would pay roughly $3,000 per book for over 465,000 different works. Anthropic's Claude can now create and edit Excel spreadsheets and documents and PowerPoint slides and PDFs and do it directly. Users can create these new materials entirely with written prompts, and you just send them in through the normal Claude chat interface. It's being rolled out over the next few weeks to various levels of users. It's already available to Max and Team and Enterprise, and it's starting to roll out to Pro. And arguably the biggest Anthropic news of the month, they unveiled Claude Sonnet 4.5. It raised the bar on coding and computer use and long-running agent work, which gets a whole lot of pressure on other companies to then up their models. It was announced on September 29th, and in the words of Anthropic, Claude Sonnet 4.5 is the best coding model in the world. It's the strongest model for building complex agents, it's the best model at using computers, and it shows substantial gains in reasoning and math. And I have to admit that, at least as of today, I agree with the hyperbole. It's great at coding. It's particularly good at coding agents. I've done 4 in the last week. It's become my daily driver for development, and I'm using it as my virtual personal assistant, at least until next week, when I'll probably change it to something else. It is also the best model out there for financial analysts, at least straight out of the box. Transitioning from Anthropic to Microsoft, Microsoft 365 Copilot now lets you choose Anthropic's 4.x line of models. So I said Claude 4.5 Sonnet is the best at financial analysis, and you can now select it in both Microsoft's Researcher and their Copilot Studio tools. So as you're going through your workflow, you can pick the right model for the right job. 4.5 Sonnet, it's really good at planning, it's really good at handoffs, it's really good at governance, so you can use it in conjunction with other models. It does set the groundwork for even more autonomous scenarios and bouncing back and forth between different models for best fit. A few different AI frontier labs have been offering AI to the US government for $1, and XAI felt that was just way too expensive, so they dropped the price by 58% down to, yes, I know it's hard to believe, 42 cents per agency. At this point, cost of models really isn't a factor in governmental adoption. It granted the government access to Grok 4 and Grok 4 Fast. XAI even agreed to provide implementation support. So they're actually giving a dedicated engineering team and introductory training programs for that massively low price of 42 cents. This is all part of America's AI Action Plan, so expect more to come. On September 9th, Apple announced live translation coming to the AirPods. It actually runs on your iPhone, but translate it in your ear to and from Spanish and English and French, German, Portuguese, and some more. It's very cool, lowers the original speaker's voice and adds a clearer translated version. We are seeing the initial release of, you could call it the Star Trek Universal Translator, maybe the Hitchhiker's Guide's Babelfish, you pick. I will be buying a pair of the new AirPods and wearing them constantly here in Puerto Rico where I live, porque mi español no es muy bueno. And I can say about 700 other words, but I'm horrible at listening, and I'm really happy that features like this are coming. And it works on the iPhone as well, including inside FaceTime, which is just cool. Speaking of wearables, we have the next evolution of Ray-Ban's AI glasses. Meta unveiled Ray-Ban display smart glasses and a neural wristband at Connect. Your glasses are always there and you don't have to type. So the argument is that smart glasses make the perfect user interface. And now we have a heads-up display that looks really large when it's less than an inch from your eyeball. The display model with the cool heads-up console is priced at $799. There is this new neural wristband that lets you do little micro gestures to control different features. So you're not always tapping your glasses or saying things out loud. Meta did also announce their new Oakley Meta Vanguard glasses. They're for the athlete types. They do things like AI training/coaching. They provide real-time stats, and that was only $499. While everyone was watching the US-China AI race, Europe made, I can't believe I'm saying these words, a bold move. On September 19th, ASML, the Dutch semiconductor equipment giant, invested 1.3 billion euros in Mistral AI, which is a French AI startup. It's been pretty quiet lately. And this is extraordinary for several reasons. First, ASML rarely invests in startups. They had never invested in an AI company before. Second, the total funding round was 1.7 billion euros, which valued Mistral at 11.7 billion euros, making it one of Europe's most valuable private companies. ASML will integrate Mistral's AI models directly into their semiconductor manufacturing equipment. Europe is actually trying to build its own AI ecosystem, independent of American providers. So maybe the EU isn't dead in the AI race. And speaking of Europe, but not the EU, because they left that, OpenAI and Microsoft are both building the UK's largest supercomputer in competition with each other. The UK became the battleground for this new competition. OpenAI announced Stargate UK, partnering with NVIDIA and Nscale to build what they call the nation's largest supercomputer. Microsoft responded with their 30 billion tech prosperity package, also focused on AI infrastructure in the UK. Why the UK? Three reasons. First, data sovereignty. European organizations want AI capacity on European soil. Two, energy and cooling. The UK has infrastructure advantages for massive data centers. And three, talent. There's proximity to European technical talent pools. But the strategic implications are a whole lot bigger. AI companies are building regional infrastructure to compete locally. The cloud era assumption was centralized data centers, probably in the US, serving the world. The AI era is regional infrastructure competing for regional markets. As always, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's where that QR code over there takes you, and X/Twitter. My podcast, Asking Good Questions, is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or you could even go to askinggoodquestions.co or just shoot me an email and ask me anything on your mind. I'm Edward Roski with the AI News, and until next time, keep asking good questions.